Choir music in America is enjoying huge success.
Now, more than ever, more people are singing in a chorus than playing athletics.
One American household out of 5 is home to a choral singer. Some 42 million Americans sing in a choir, and there are more than 270,000 choral groups. The roots of choral music date back to the 2nd century BC. And the music performed today reflects eras of antiquity, Renaissance and Baroque, classical and romantic, all the way to choral versions of pop music.
More than ever before, people are being involved in singing.
An example of a chorus that excels in a variety of ways can be found in Sacramento, California. The Sacramento Choral Society and Orchestra. It's arguably the most unique chorus in the country.
In the United States, there are 12,000 community choruses. We are really unique in that we are the only large group that has its own professional orchestra.
Being a choir somehow does something to people. They enter the group one way with their beliefs and baggage, and after a while, they say something changes inside of them. A look inside the Sacramento Choral Society and Orchestra reveals stories about people abandoning preconceived notions about others, people who overcome difficult paths, and finding families when there once was none. And it all began with the simple love to sing.
When we think of the history of music, and we go back to the very beginnings of music and music history and the appearance of music in our lives, it really began with the voice. It began in chant. Verse 2, sing.
It's Donald Kendrick's passion and love for music that inspired him to help create the Sacramento Choral Society and Orchestra.
We're perceived as the large choral symphonic chorus in town.
But the SCSO's fame extends far beyond Sacramento's city limits. It is recognized around the world. It all began in 1996 with a dream to make Sacramento a leader in choral circles, and it worked.
We are so proud that there's only one large community chorus that has its own professional symphony orchestra, and that happens to be the Sacramento Choral Society. And we are the only organization that has a collective bargaining agreement with the American Federation of Musicians.
The masterminds behind the music are conductor Donald Kendrick and President James McCormick.
The best part of being in a choir, besides the music, is definitely the feeling of a community, a camaraderie, breathing together, having a common goal.
And that common goal starts behind the scenes with a little fun.
It takes an alto to do that.
Before the fanfare.
That's alto power.
But making music is serious business for Donald.
Some things that I'm concerned about a little bit in Carmina. Number one,
We do a lot of different kind of music with the Choral Society. Verdi, Brahms, Beethoven, Bruckner. And in a sense, that's how we exist. We bring to the community the large choral orchestral works that are considered masterpieces throughout music history. But in the last several years, we've also balanced that out with doing more popular pieces. We've done some what we call pop shows, music of Lerner and Loewe, music of Andrew Lloyd Webber.
And 3, 4.
Learning the music can take months of patience and practice.
Look!
We love singing Carmina Burana. All choirs love singing Carmina Burana. It's just great fun to sing it. It's just pure fun. But not easy to sing that piece well. It's very demanding.
Demanding and dramatic, because most of the lyrics aren't in English, which means every singer must learn several new languages.
And your score is written incorrectly. You have S-U-C-C, and it should be S-U-S-C. So the word should be suscrescente. Go. Suscrescente. Suscrescente. Veni, ven. Your first chord, hold it, go. Is so much better than it was last week. Last time, A minor is cha, cha. There's the chord. Finish the phrase, open score.
When you can have an 88-year-old that has good breath management and can sing well and in tune and a good ear, and you have a 20-year-old who's learning and watching all these community people who are there every Monday night, accepting each other, singing in different languages. They see people of Asian extraction in our choir singing Latin. You know, it's not that easy.
We decided to do a concert series in the Cathedral of the Blessed Sacrament. We brought to that building music that would have been sung in buildings similar to that around Europe. So I called it a tribute to the European cathedrals. And we began with music of Mozart, and we did the Mozart Coronation Mass, which involved 4 soloists and the chorus and on the organ, much like you would have heard it in Salzburg when Mozart was there. I try to choose music that's really going to work in the building. The cathedral, it's such a beautiful space, and since they've opened up the dome and they've exposed the dome that was covered for many years, the acoustics of the building have changed too. So there's a different kind of a roll in the sound, and there's a warmth in the sound. The Mondavi Center, that's a different acoustical situation for us. That, in fact, is a beautiful concert hall. The orchestra is right in front of us. You know, the soloists are there, and we're on risers, and so we get a sense of, with the shell behind us, where our sound is and how our sound moves out into the building.
The first time I sang in a choir, it was in elementary school in a small village in Canada.
I have several choirs that I conduct, and I've sung in choirs all my life, and been involved with singing since I was a young boy. Singing is an important ingredient in life, and I believe that singing befits you for life in a way that nothing else does.
Being in a choir changed how I feel about everything. Music has been the biggest part of my life. It has really changed me, and I feel that I'm just a better person when I'm in a choir, and it really touches my soul.
I joined the Choral Society because it gave me an opportunity to express myself in different ways musically.
When I sing, kind of burns inside my chest, you know. The music, it's a gift from God. Beethoven, they said he was deaf, and he still kept hearing music. It's that thing where it lives inside you. You can't just get rid of it or tone it down. It's part of you, you know.
And I'd like you to have a look at that during the break. Stephen, can you take this from me? Because I'm wired here. More than usual.
Ultimate singer's director. He's easy to follow. He knows your voice. He has a tremendous memory for people. He knows where to put you in the chorus to make the best use of your voice at any time.
Can you sing louder or not? Go.
He's very kind of cartoonish-like. He goes, every time he wants us to do something, he acts like it, and he goes, say, Mama Bear. He goes like a big bear, Mama Bear.
Then you,
Every Monday evening, you can find us at Sacramento State University in the choral room, rehearsing for 2.5 hours. That gathering room is like a choral village.
Betty Harder is back. Would you wave at us, Betty? Okay. Welcome, Betty.
The rehearsal time, while I love the performances, it's that journey, it's that rehearsal time that's where you see the growth of the members. You add 55 professional players, 180 voice chorus, that's a team of 235 if you don't count the 4 soloists.
Whether it's in rehearsal or during a live performance, singing beautiful music is an expression of the soul for these singers. Through music, special bonds and memories are formed.
On a given Monday evening, you watch the volunteer choristers come through the door to rehearse. The look on their face, like they're glad to see each other. We've had 3 to 4 marriages that have taken place as a result of being in this choir. And the friendships, we have a group of people that play tennis together. So the actual relationship transcends music.
I do know that when we make music together, that we make honest music together, and there's a sincerity, and and that we have a shared passion in that, and I feel it from the orchestra. I feel that they really care about our chorus and about our organization, and that they are here to support us. In fact, some of them are actually singing in my chorus now.
It's kind of a family. I mean, this is my first year doing it, but already I love the women that I sing next to.
Being in the choir probably the most changed how I look at the world around me. The people around me now they're not just people, there's that moment where you find the soul to soul with a person, you know.
Managing the Sacramento Choral Society and Orchestra requires a lot of time and volunteer work.
Carolyn Schaefer. Carolyn has been helping so many arts groups pretty well for 25 years, but with the SCSO, her commitment for 15 years has been amazing. I refer to her as my office on wheels. With the structure, we have, Donald Kendrick, our conductor. You have a board that oversees the growth of the organization, the weekly chorus operations team that takes care of business on a Monday night. But then during the week, the individual days, we have SCSO guardian angels.
The fact that the SCSO is almost entirely run by volunteers surprises many, because their talent on stage is anything but amateur. Members of the choir say it's the chorus's two leaders who make it all work. Donald Kendrick and Jim McCormick teamed up musically more than a decade ago. They've since spread their passion for music around the world.
Some of the most beautiful concert halls that the Choral Society has sung in include the Milk Abbey, which was really just an unexpected visit. We stopped, we were having a tour of the Abbey, and we went down into the bowels of this extraordinary building, and we began to sing Lux Aeterna by American composer Morton Lordson. And there were choirs from all around Europe, and they all stopped, and we just started singing. Traveling has always been an important part of my life as a singer with choirs, and I've carried that mantle forward to my choirs at Sac State and my church groups and to now the Choral Society, and we love traveling.
And love traveling they do. Members have performed in New York, Los Angeles, Canada, Europe, and even the Great Wall of China.
China was really an eye-opening experience for all of us. When we went to the ancient capital city of China, which is called Xi'an, they presented us with the key to the city, which is something they've only done for President Clinton and for Jackie Chan. Our performance on the Great Wall had been set up for us. So that was going to be our sort of crowning concert on the China tour. And as we went up through the mountains toward the wall, there was this clouds and sort of fog around us, and we thought, oh my goodness, here we've come all the way to the top to sing a concert on the Great Wall, and we're having overcast, clouds and the sort of light rain, and we thought this is going to be very difficult and sad for us to not. As we approached the very top of the summit, the clouds parted, the sun came out. It was miraculous. And here was this spectacular wall. They had this performing area built up there for us, and the choir gathered there, and we gave this concert, and we thought, well, nobody would be there. And there were thousands of tourists climbing up the stairs and climbing up the wall, and we gave this really amazing concert there. The music actually carried very well because of how the performance area was situated in the wall, and all the stone and the wood that they had put up in this, like a pagoda almost effect there, and the sound echoed across up into the summit. We sang the national anthem in Mandarin, and also our American national anthem too, and it was really, really a moving situation. There was hardly a dry eye in the choir.
One of my favorite things we did in Choral Society is we went to Europe in '04. And we traveled through Germany, Czech Republic, Austria, and Hungary.
We would be traveling through, rural towns but even small towns in Europe, Italy and France and England, towns that are the size of, maybe rural Sacramento areas, would have always, you'd find these magnificent cathedrals built in the 15th and 16th or earlier, century. And so we'd stop the bus and we'd all get off and we'd run in, we'd make a circle around the middle of the building and we'd sing a motet or a madrigal or something, and it would just be so glorious. We'd get back on the bus and off we'd go.
We never expected to do so much traveling. In fact, I doubt that we would have gone to any of those places if it hadn't been for the Choral Society. I love traveling, so I appreciate that opportunity to be cultural ambassadors.
Anytime we board a plane and travel together, we do see ourselves as some type of representatives of culture from the region, and definitely the cultural ambassador term fits.
A perk of being in the SCSO is the opportunity to travel the world. But for some, they travel long distances locally, simply for the opportunity to sing.
I live and work in Amador County, which is southeast of Sacramento. I pack up about 5:30 or so and head towards Sacramento.
Well, I've been doing it since the fall of 2004, and each way I commute about 50 miles.
It's the love of music that drives Martha Shaver to travel more than 4,000 miles every year to sing with the Sacramento Choral Society and Orchestra.
The quality of the music that's produced is wonderful, but there's something about singing in a choir that's joining with 160 or 170 voices to make a sound that is just something you can't get anywhere else. It's one of the ways in which a non-professional can be a part of producing professional quality music.
But Martha isn't the only choir singer traveling extensively to rehearse and perform in Sacramento.
If you were to draw a circle around Sacramento, the region, and let's start up in Oroville, Yuba City, Grass Valley, Nevada City. These members come from there. They come from Placerville. They come from Lodi, Galt. We've had them come from Modesto. They come also from Winters, certainly a good number from Davis, Vacaville, Fairfield, and also Woodland.
And yet when they come into the environment of the rehearsal and they're singing beautiful music that has meaning and value, they are uplifted. Their troubles of the day seem to fall away, and they go home even more exhilarated and more uplifted and more energized.
Almost always when I come home, I've got our practice CDs running and practicing along as I'm making the hour-long trip home again.
And I'm singing along with the practice tapes. In fact, one time I got a speeding ticket because I wasn't paying too much attention as I was, the volume bills and the speed bills, and I wasn't paying too much attention.
Week after week. I mean, we're talking 40 weeks of coming and giving up 2.5 hours, the travel time alone, and the commitment of buying their own scores and parking and the annual membership dues. It sort of makes you realize that if you have a good product based on a good sense of community building, that people will come.
You get to know individuals, and I remember my husband died, and I must have gotten, 40 or 50 cards from people, and that's just, they become a part of your life.
We are providing quality music for families and children at affordable prices, and we're also changing people's lives. When I was younger, I felt like my parents probably would have liked me to have done something else with my life, maybe be a doctor. And one day I woke up and I realized I am a doctor. I'm helping to heal people through music. And I think that is what all of us are trying to do, is trying to make the world a better place through song.
The singers are the driving force behind the success of the SCSO. I often wonder, for a given concert, if the actual attendees can envision the number of hours of rehearsal that have gone in, the care and the commitment, and certainly the passion of the singers. The product is one that is giving back to the community. It's outward. It's not about the individual singers. It's about what we can do collectively to enhance the cultural life of Sacramento.
To order a DVD copy of this program, call 888-814-3923 or visit kvie.org/viewfinder.